Guys, so in today's lesson then, the main aim would be to teach you guys how Fruity functions with time signatures, different time signatures, right? But we're going to first start by understanding the fundamentals of the time signature. I'm not going to make it too complicated, just a simple stuff and reminder on how basically we can explain or translate time signature. So the first thing to understand is that as soon as I go 4, 4, right? This basically means that I need 4 quarter notes, right? You understand that? To make a bar. You understand? So that's what your time signature is telling you. So that means I need 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter notes to create a bar, right? 1 bar, right? Cool. So we all have that understanding. In terms of that, this tells you the measure. This tells you how many of these measures do you need to create 1 bar. Are we with? Right? So if I go 3, 4, right? Where am I working? How many quarter notes do I need?
3.
To create a bar, right? Okay, cool. Then, how many do I need to create a bar? What do I need and how many do I need to create a bar? 6? No. 6 eighth notes. This denotes the measure. You understand? And this denotes the amount. Just understand that. Yeah? It doesn't become tricky. The only time you need half notes is if we work with 6 over 2. Because then I would need 6 half notes to create a bar. You understand what I'm saying? You guys see it? Okay, cool. So, technically again, I'll take you back.
Can you explain that as well on the DAW?
Yes, that's the aim. That's the aim. That's why I'm starting you here. Yeah? Okay, cool. Let's go back again. So, if I say 12, 8, what is this telling you? Yes. You guys grab it.
That's fast.
Okay, cool. Right, let's move on to where we're going now.
Some drums.
I don't even want to know how that sounds, bro. All right, cool. So now, bring it back to how this would apply to Fruity. Let's just bring our friend back here. Come on, friend. Welcome me, friend. Oh, yeah, I think you got me. You might have missed me, but what up? How you doing? All right, cool. So, we're in this now, right? So, I'm just going to go straight to my piano roll, right? There we go. That's not it. That's not it. There we go. There we go. Cool. You guys can see what's happening here, right? I'm just going to go to another pattern because I don't want anything to be on the pattern. So, let's call that X. Pattern X, right? Cool, right? So I'm going to go to my piano roll here, and this is how exactly it works. Right now we are currently on 4/4. Do you guys agree on that? Right? Cool. If you want to check, you can go to options, go to project, general projects, and you can see numerator there is 4. Your denominator is 4. Are we together? Right. Cool. So I'm going to close that. So we said, now this is something to remember very carefully, right? It takes 4 quarter notes on a 4/4. It's 4 quarter notes to create a bar, right? Now, the first thing to remember, which is what I stated in previous chapters before, that Pro Tools breaks with its grid lines into 16th notes, right? For example, this is a 16th note, 16th note. Are we agreed? So if I do this, this is 16th, 16, put together creates an 8th note, right? So this is 16, 16, put together creates a 8th note, right? Combine these together, what do I have? Exactly, right? So we are working on 4/4 to create a bar, right? So I need 4 of these to create a bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have bar 2. Understood, right? Cool. So now let's go change it. Options. and project settings. And let's do 3/4. Let's see how that translates. Do you see already there's a quarter note that's out of line, right? Again, I've got a quarter note, quarter note, quarter note. That gives us 3, and I already have my... You guys understand how it translates? Okay, so let's go a bit further. Project. And I take it to 8, and I say 6. Right? Now, according to our description, we need 6 8th notes to create. Exactly. Right? Cool. 8th notes again. Let's go back. This 16th note, right, creates an 8th note, right? 16th note creates another 8th note. So now I'm counting. 8th note, 8th note, 8th note. And I have my bar. Any confusion on how this works? So now I can complicate this as much as I can. You guys can see it. You understand? And that's how Fruity then reads it as your timeline signatures. And so your time signatures, right? Cool. So let's even take it further and take it to the playlist, right? As you can see, right now we're on 6/8, aren't we? Right. There we go again. Here's a bar, here's a bar. This is a 16th note, this is a 16th note. This is then an 8th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Also in the playlist. So I don't expect you guys to get this confused, right? You can have a whole lot of fun by playing with different time signatures, which is what I'm going to show you next. First, I'm going to show you how to add time signatures into your playlist, right? And then we're going to dabble in what it can do, just like an example.
You can basically do a 4 on the floor with your kick.
Yes.
And then change the time signature on your snare and your hi-hat, and that would
Kind of change. Let me show you. Let me show you. I'm on the next one.
No, but I'm asking, can you do it?
Yes, which is what I'm going to show you now. Yes, definitely. Good question. Quite ahead in what I'm going to do right now. Exactly what I'm going to do right now, right? So I'm going to go back to 4/4.
And what did you say it creates with your work?
It can create a different form of energy, a different approach.
The 2 things that the color and?
No, that's percussion. That represents percussion. You understand? What percussion adds in terms of value towards your production, right? Time signature just changes the groove or the drive. You understand? Or the energy that you're getting. Because you are changing the groove by changing the time signature.
With this technique, is that how you, on the EDM songs, when you get to like the snare, like for a build up?
That can be either that, or it could be changing it to triplets. Yeah, that's working with triplets, or it can be working with just smaller segments. Huh? You can use it with this method. It depends on the tempo you're functioning in. Also depends on the sequencing that you're working on. You understand? And the original time signature that you're working in, right? But first try it with a tempo change. If not a tempo change, try it by actually using smaller segments of what do you call this thing? Smaller segments, increments of your grid lines. You understand? So smaller versions of this, or tempo change within that space, and then go back to the original tempo. You understand? But experiment between those two, right? Cool. So right now we're on 4/4. From this section to this section, we're on 4/4, right? So I want to add, sorry, let me just do this. Hey, stop it. Pattern 1. I want to add a time signature, right? Guys, it's going to be a bit difficult to teach. I can actually do this. Okay, there we go. That simplifies life. Okay, cool. Right. So I want to add a time signature where my cursor playback or my playback cursor is. So I'm going to place it there, right? I know that from here to here is 4/4, right? That's my original. I want to add a 3/4 somewhere along the lines here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sequence this. Let me sequence the first 2 that creates the 4/4. Then the next 2 I'm going to leave for the 3/4. Then I'm going to go back to 4/4. You get what I'm saying? So then I'm going to go Option Shift and then T. That allows me to add my time signature.
What's the Windows shortcut, you know?
It's going to be Shift Alt, Option Shift Alt, Alt Shift T. Yeah. So it's just the modifier keys They don't change, but the name just changes. Yeah, right. So I'm going to go to 3, 4 right here, and I'm going to accept. Right. Already now, as you can see here, we've got 3 quarter notes to create a bar. Here we've got 4 quarter notes to create a bar. Right. So I'm going to shift this here. Okay, wait, not done yet. I need to first change it back. So now after my sequence this one, now I'm going to take this one, sequence it, but I'm going to sequence it according to my, exactly, according to my time signature. So I'm just going to cut the last one, right? Mind you, I haven't changed the drum groove, right? What I'll do is just change the time signature on the thing and then just switched it there, right? And then from here, I can add another time signature, which is Shift Option T again, and go back to 4/4, accept, 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 and then there we go, right? So let's hear what it does for our drum groove throughout the track, right? I'm going to cut it there because it is a sudden change into the groove now. You understand? You guys can try work your transitions and make them much more cohesive, right? Cool. Did you hear what happened? Right? By simply just changing the drum groove, I was able to basically create that kind of change in my groove. By simply changing the time signature, I was able to create a different drum groove. You get what I'm saying? Still keeping the same thing. Now imagine if you decide to sequence according to that time signature. You understand? Now if you decide to sequence according to that time signature, that's going to obviously now expand your sound a bit more. You understand? You can actually now make it work for your time signature change also, so that the transition from 4/4 to 3/4 is kind of like cohesive. You understand? As much as they would do in movies, right? But right now, what I've been able to show you is that within using the same drum groove, you understand, and just changing the time signature, I'm able to change the drum groove that the person is perceiving. It's still the same, but you're perceiving it different now. You get? Okay, cool. Now, we're going to extend that further. We're going to go back now to a pattern, and then I'm going to play this from pattern, right? Now I'm going to show you using ascendant notes. Now, this is the beginning part of your chapter, all in page number 147, right? The beginning part of your chapter. So, they start us with this drum groove, right? Normal drum groove that we have there. And then by going to my graph editor, everybody paying attention, graph editor, velocity. I'm just going to mess with my hi-hats. That's all I'm going to mess with, right?
Did you get that thing on 12?
What are you talking about? This?
The graph editor.
Here.
When you have the swing.
I don't know what you're talking about then.
I don't have the graph editor there. I have to go into my piano roll and then I can.
I'll have to see your your Fruity Loops, eh? Because this should be there. It's been there for years. Even before Fruity 12. I think Fruity 11, it had something like this, but it wasn't this. I think it was a switch between this and this and stuff. But there was a view and stuff. Well, I'll have to see it. Just bring it from, yeah, and stuff. Which is shocking. Shocking. Yeah, maybe you're not seeing maybe you're not seeing it. But just watch out for the blue graphs right here, right? Graph editor, right? Okay. So now perception that you have of this drum kit is like this. Straightforward, right? Cool. So what I'm going to do, as much as you're shown in the test book, is I'm going to raise this one up. Sorry. Just bring these ones down just a bit, right? I'm changing nothing in terms of sequencing, just my velocity. There we go, and there we go. Listen to it now. Just the hi-hat, right? Did you hear your perception? Right? Okay, fine. Maybe this might not be enough. Let's take this lower. Let's bring this up. Lower this up. This is what they use in EDM. Might sound familiar or house. Right? Then I go. It's still the same drum kit. You understand? Still the same groove. What did I change? Exactly. That's it. And then perception was created. This is what I was trying to tell you guys about. That you literally can change the drum groove within a track without actually even changing physically the drum groove, and change the perception of how a person perceives it by working with velocities and time signature. You understand? So you haven't changed your drum grooves. You understand? You've just changed how a person perceives it. Right? Same thing when you're adding percussion. So if I decide, let me add a clap here, and just go here, here, right? So for a good 4 bars, it's going to play without a clap, and then the clap is going to come in after four bars, right? So I'm going to remove that for the one. You understand? By doing that, you've added some form of rest after that good 4 bars. You understand? Then you do it for another 4 bars again. Again, you're creating some form of little minor changes, but it's still adding a bit of difference with what's happening within your song overall. And you're adding tension, taking away tension, and also kind of assisting in the people being able to kind of perceive this a bit differently over time. You understand?
Okay, but like, so now you have this groove like without the clap, right?
Yeah.
And you just play it for 4 bars.
Yeah.
And then you activated the clap, but aren't you supposed to then, because you're going to have to sequence it another pattern?
Now I would have done it in terms of sequencing already. This was just for me to show you. Yeah. No, I could have done this. I could have done this. Like, I'm going to remove this now and delete this. I could have done this. Bring that in. Right? That's 4. And then on my 4th one, right, I can make this one unique. Right? After making it unique, sorry, add my clap there. Oh, where was it? Here. Right?
It's so much easier.
Then I can just. It's muted.
Because I forgot about the make unique thing.
The make unique thing makes things very easier. Yeah.
Because what I do is I sequence like say now the first 4 bars.
Yeah.
And then I make another pattern. And then
ooh, and then you sequence the same thing again. Well, you can make unique. All right, now you know. Okay, cool. Right, and then add a clap on top, then you're done. Right, cool. Now, that basically concludes much of what we've done in this chapter. Now we're going to move on to page, as I move on, just hold on, let me just find it. Page 166, right? We're going to work with slice X now. So I'm going to move from there, I'm going to do this from here, I'm going to open here, a piano roll, I'm going to cut that, it's not what I'm looking for this. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to move to my next pattern, I'm going to just delete this, guys. Right, cool. Now, we're done with time signatures, right? We're going to move into basically trying to create an understanding now with percussion. So now we're going to start talking about percussions a bit much more, about them adding color, where you can add them, etc., etc. But in most cases, usually you don't find the sounds you want from your sample packs, right? And in most cases, you don't find the sounds you want from, or in most cases, you might be forced to take sounds or to be buying plugins from somewhere else to try basically create what you want to create. But what I'm trying to drive at is, right, okay, let me start like this. Okay, let's say you're starting with a loop, right? Yes, cool. So let's talk about loops, right? Slice X now has become a platform where you can take a loop, or gives you the ability to take a loop, right, and do the following: change the way it sounds, right, or resequence it. Yes.
So make it your own.
Yes.
You can resequence a loop.
Yes.
How?
As in, like, you see the way a loop is structured. You can take the kick and put it wherever you want to. You can take the snare and put it wherever you want to.
With slice X.
With slice X. Guys have never used Slice X before. Never. What? Fruity Slice X. Yeah, similar concept. Exactly. You understand? It's the same thing.
Is Slice X extra plugin?
No. There. There it is. Look for it. There's either fruity, the Slice X, and then there's fruity slice. I think there's an earlier version of it, depending on fruity slice. Okay.
Is that the same thing as this?
Similar. Yeah. Similar. Okay. Yeah. This is more advanced now.
The real boy.
Yeah. But you should have it as long as you got fruity 20. You should have it.
Fruity 12.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Anyway, guys, let me not digress as I run out of time soon. Okay. Cool. So here's a plugin that allows you to work with loops as much as you want to and have control of loops to the T, if you understand what I'm saying. As in like to the T, my man.
I can take somebody else's loop that's already in the packet.
Load it here and have fun. Right, cool. So I'm going to show you, but let's start by first describing each platform. So we're looking at this point now right here. The top part basically is the master section. You understand? That's where everything runs through. You find your volume, you find your randomization, you find even the different type of views that you can go for from here to open different parts of Slice X. You understand? Right? And then you find modulation. This modulation X and Y basically applies to these babies here, right? So whatever you link here will definitely apply here, and you can take this and create automation and change it over time, right? We'll leave that. You guys can go experiment with that later. I'm going to show you the basics of this thing, and it's still like, still going to be fun. Right, cool. Then here, right, is where you add effects on each and every single loop you have or slice that you have. I'll explain why. But it's a platform for effects, literally to affect your plugin the way you want to and have much more control and have it play it the way you want to. Right, cool. Here is where you load your audio or sample or loop. You understand? You can drag and drop, you can load, right? Right? So you can do a normal here and then go load sample, right? Or I'm going to do it now with the drag and drop because I did put a chorus part here. Let me just go to local and there we go. I'm going to grab this, drag it and drop it into here. And there we are. That's our wave, right? If I want to zoom in, I can zoom in by coming with my mouse here, scrolling up or down, right? Cool, right? And then here you have the keyboard representation of where your samples are located. You'll understand that now as we work. So here we go. So after I've loaded my sample, I dragged and dropped it. Quite dope. It exists, right? Then I can go to auto slicing, right? By right clicking on auto slicing, you'll find different forms of slicing. There's DAW auto slicing, which basically does a minimum amount of slicing. You understand? So kind of like works with the threshold, making the threshold a bit less. You understand? The more you go in terms of medium, the threshold becomes a bit much more now. You understand? So that means that the more of instruments that actually reach this threshold, or more parts or transient that reach this threshold, the more markers you'll have. You understand? The more it will cut, yes, because it creates markers. And the nice thing about it, it doesn't cut it. It creates markers. So then you don't even have to worry about things being cut. You get what I'm saying? Or coming out of nowhere. You get what I'm saying? It creates markers for you. Right, cool. And then the sharp auto slicing, which will have more markers in. You know, so much more intense. Now, if this was a percussive, because this is a vocal, right? I'm going to play it for you.
This COVID-19.
You understand? This is a vocal. If it had a percussion, if I was using percussion sounds with clear transient, likelihood it would have already started slicing. But if it doesn't start slicing, markers, adding markers, then what you can do is come here, right, and basically click on it and change. I'm going to go for DAW because I want a bit much more space within it, right? So there are my markers. You can see them, right? To go even further, I'm going to make sure that you guys can see them clearly. Here's my marker here. Let's play marker number 8, right? Marker number 8.
Listen for a minute, we might realize.
Right? You guys see it? Marker number 8, right? Then I'm going to take it. Marker number 8. Here's marker number 8, right? I'm
Listen for a minute, we might realize.
Right? You guys can see that, right? So now I'm going to go to my piano roll. Let's go look for marker number 8.
Listen for a minute, we might realize.
That's marker number 8. Already, you can already start resequencing this and creating what you want. You understand what I'm saying? Right. Because now you have it on your keyboard, right? Further on, maybe I don't like what's happening on marker number 8. So let's close that down. Let's go back up here. I feel like marker number 8 has got too many things going on, right? Too many vocals here. So I want to add a marker somewhere here. Let me zoom in. And I want to add a marker here.
Listen for.
So I'm going to select that and I'm going to say plus sign with the marker number 9, right? I can move it left, I can move it right if I want to, or place it wherever I want to place it. You understand? So marker number 8 now has become
listen, 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 listen.
Maybe I just want the listen.
Listen, listen.
I might want it here then.
Listen, listen.
Let's have it here then.
Listen, listen.
Right? So if I go back now to my marker number 8.
Listen, listen, listen.
You understand? So now I can go to my keyboard and you understand? And you start creating your beat from there. You can even perform with this thing. Yeah. And then he puts them in and everybody's going crazy. Kanye, he set this shit up long time ago. And he's just bumping his head and pressing one button throughout the whole damn thing. Exactly. You understand? And if you know the plugin Output Arcade.
Yes, I've seen that.
You understand? Beautiful plugin, right? You pay about what, $10 more per month for it? I used it and stuff. I didn't know that I had this. And I was like, but there's so much I can do on Arcade. Now what can I do with this? You understand? I can take it a step further and add effects. I can basically record my own vocal, chop it out the way I want to its length, and have more effects. That I control. Because Arcade has the effects, but it's like effects on effects, you understand? It's like an effects channel on its own, you understand? That you need to raise up and all. The only thing you get to tweak is the actual thing, but not as much as in depth as you can go here from the beginning. So you're not working from parameters given by another plugin, you're working from parameters from a combination of plugins. Yes. So you can make what they've done literally from here. You understand? So now you can play around, which is fine, but
I would rather use this.
more than Arcade and save yourself $10 every month, right? Right? Okay, cool. So we understand that with this now we can resequence what's going on here to get what we want, right? Cool. But hold on. Fruity comes and it's like, yo, we're not done. We're not done. Let's do this, right? We can extend this now. So we're going to pay attention to number, I'm going to use 7, 8, let's see, that's 7, 8, and I'm going to add another marker.
For a minute.
I think that's up to here. Add another marker here.
For a minute. For a minute.
Cool. Right? Now, so I'm working with.
Think, listen for a minute. Think, listen for a minute. Think, listen for a minute.
But now, pay attention to this. When I'm here, you see now it's on 9, right? If I select number 7 or I play number 7, it selects number 7. If I play number 8, plays number 8. You see what's happening with that number there? I hope you're paying attention, right? That becomes 10, right? Now it's time to apply effects on each of these, the way I want to. Right. Now I'm going to start explaining how that works. Right. Cool. First, when I select the channel or play it on the keyboard, like number 7 right now, I can come here now because number 7 is selected, right? I can come here and basically increase the volume for that specific channel, right?
Listen for a minute. Listen for a
You see what happens to his level, right? If I wanted to play it on the left hand side and then the other ones come out of the right hand side, let me just go to number 8 and let's put that to the right. Okay, then I can go because I'm panning, if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
Listen for a minute. Listen for
you get what I'm saying? So now I'm panning one to the left, the other one to the right, and the one comes in the middle. You understand? Okay, cool. So now, as you can notice, I can change the panning, which is volume and panning right here, right? Then filter, right? So what I want you guys to start understanding this now is that these parameters here, these parameters as I mark them like that, they work with this graph here. This graph basically, because it works with envelope, LFO, velocity, module X, mod Y, and random, tells you that whatever changes happen here, they happen over time here. You understand? So that would allow you to basically make changes that happen over time here. You understand? But for instantaneous changes, you can basically function by activating this. But now, we go even a step further, whereby we've got these sections here called the articulator. Right? Now, these are like, if you guys remember Cubase properly, right? On Cubase, you would have, let's say, your drum track, right? Let's say you have your snare. But if you wanted to add a reverb, you don't add it on your snare track. You create another track. Yes, an effects track, and you put your reverb there and send it through, right? That's exactly what this platform of articulators is. It's like 8, what do you call them? Effects tracks, right? That you can alter from here and here and here in the filter, and then just send your different samples in it, right? For example, I'm going to go to articulator number 2, right? If you remember number 7, okay, let's just bring back number 7 in the middle, right? If you remember number 7 sounds like this, right? So on articulator number 2, I'm going to add a high pass, a filter, right? And then I'm going to patch it through, as you can see, still sounding the same thing, right? But then I'm going to patch it to number 2, right, for number 7. Then, so now it's,
listen for a minute.
You understand? Then I can take it further. Maybe number 8, for me, is not loud enough. I still want it in the middle. I'm going to take number 8, raise it up. Then what I'm going to do is increase its speed. Then I can go back now and still play it. Number 8 again is still coming out of number 1. So I'm just increasing the speed.
Listen for a minute.
Or slow it down. Where is it? Number 8.
Listen for a minute.
You get what I'm saying? So again, it's those things. Like now you can take your samples and just play around with them one by one and break them down, right? So for a minute, okay, let's find a very long one. Let's go to number 10.
For a minute.
Okay, number 10. I said number 10.
We might realize.
Right? This is number 10, right? And then I'm going to say on number 1, articulator number 1, what I want is pan change. So now I can bring this down. First we need to switch it on. So for us to switch it on, I basically need to connect those two, right? So I've selected pan and envelope, right? Now I want to change that over time. I might want it to slowly move into the other side, right? So that's number 10 for me now. So if now I play number 10 on articulator 1, let me just make sure it's articulator 1 and it's panning. Let's raise its level a bit. Then number 10.
We might realize.
You heard that, right? Started that side, then came this side. Right? Let me even stretch it further so you can actually hear it that way.
We might realize
Over time. You understand? For each and every single sample.
So can you make it run?
What do you mean run?
If you listen to now, you make the...
And like move from left to right, back to left to right. You can do it. Like you can look, it depends on how you do this graph. You understand? So if you make this graph much more intense, then definitely you can do it. With a bit much more nodes, it's just going to take some time. But let's do it like this. Maybe. Now I'm just adding nodes all the way I want, and then let's play number 10. Where's number 10? Nope. There.
we might realize.
You get it. But obviously you can make it smoother. You understand? And so on. Okay. Then, even a step further. So, once you're done, maybe let's say you're happy with it, and you've got kind of like a playlist that you're sequencing type of scenario. Now you can even take it a step further, and let's put it to piano roll. Let's go here. Let me bring it here. Right, I'm just going to close that. Then I'm going to take the selected channel, right, take it and drag it into here. Right, now I can easily mute that, right click that, fit to tempo, make that fit to tempo. Then I'll play it from here.
We might realize.
Okay, cool. Then I can time stretch it if I want to.
We might realize.
Or reverse it if I want to. Or take it, stretch it even further. Let me just undo that. Let's work within the limits. To that. Done. Huh? Yeah, still reversed. Yeah, I was just stretching it to show you that you guys can stretch it further. You understand? So now you're not only limited within the confinements of the plugin, you can take it out of the plugin and do your own thing and have it play alongside with what you've done in your plugin. Okay, guys? Okay, that's the end of the class. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, man.